Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Wednesday night. Tonight, we give you the coverage of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. It's been quite a season so far, 5 races in the books, and we've seen one driver be the most dominant so far. Jake Nichols, already 3 wins out of 5 races, is going to march to see if he can get win number 4 out of 6 here at Darlington. One of the more well-known tracks in NASCAR. Darlington is expected to give us a thrilling race this evening, as during the daytime, we'll see how this track evolves throughout tonight's race. But thrilling was the word I was hoping to say for the racing action. We're not really sure what to expect. Drivers have been noting to me saying that this track and setup combo is very tight. It's tough to make passes, so our most exciting action could be starting here in the next about minute with qualifying right around the corner. We're excited for it to see who can get that top speed, but currently the fastest driver for practice is Vincent Sora. As Vincent has said the last few weeks, it has been about if he can find perfection. It could be the time that he could outscore and win a race over Jake Nichols. We'll see if tonight is that night. I want to say thank you for joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer, and we're going to be seeing the drivers popping up here shortly on qualifying. Richard Wolsifer should be showing up here later on, but Robert Moyer Jr. going to be running production. Might join us in the booth later on here tonight. I'm curious on if Robert can get his mic ready, because I want to ask him some questions here for the pre-race show and ask what his thoughts could be for this race, as we are almost done with practice, and certainly we are ready for this. Vincent Sora, Jake Nichols going to be the top drivers, as we have ourselves the charity race coming up after our New Year's event. We've got the 6 hours of Daytona right here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. The 6 hours of Daytona event is going to be a charity race. It's our 5th annual one, as we're going to bring Robert in. Robert, I want you to talk a little bit about this charity event and the meaning for it for you, as it'll be our next broadcast before we're back from our winter break. What are your thoughts on this being our 5th annual Daytona, 6 hours of Daytona?
Well, Sam, when we first started the charity event, I didn't think we'd, get past the first event. We got past, the first annual, but never in my dreams I thought we would be in our 5th, going into our 5th one this year. I'm happy for it. I love the content that we do for it and everything, and the fans and everybody out there that tunes in and watches it. So yeah, it's hard to believe it's coming right around the corner here in 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's within 3 weeks. It's going to be January 3rd of 2026 is our charity races date. It's going to be 6 hours of racing action. About 7.5 hours was our last broadcast of people raising money, ways you can influence the race, so you can mess with us up in the booth. Lots of fun. You do not want to miss out. More information will be given out on our social media throughout this winter break. As qualifying underway for the field, going to be seeing drivers hitting the track. First one to get a time in, going to be Ben Keeney for himself. Matt Muir going to be the second driver in line. And like I said, this is expected to be the part of the race where this is going to be a lot of the action to watch out for. Who can get that top speed? And Robert, I was looking at the stats. The fast the driver gets the pole has won the race at least 3 out of the 7 times that we've ran here. So getting the pole going to be very important, as Shane Marion going to be top of the board currently after his first lap.
Oh, that's something. That's wow. What stats we have there? We'll have to see who puts it on the poll here tonight and see if they can back that stat up here, Sam.
And who else can maybe steal some of the other stats, as tonight's race going to be a shorter one than we've had in the past. Usually they would run 150 laps at Darlington. Tonight, 140 is the official lap counter. Last time they tried to run this amount was back in season 7. we had to go into overtime where Brandon Colley found himself into victory lane. As some of the main drivers to watch out for qualifying here tonight, and Shane Terrian, obviously a driver who can be quick. He's found himself being close to grabbing the pole in past seasons. We'll see if that time holds up with a 29.2. But the other drivers of note, Vincent Sora, Gavin Rogers, Jared Talmadge, Thomas Green, John Forbes, and of course, Jake Nichols. They're hitting the track, and this is where the fun begins.
Yeah. Now we'll see if if Rogers can put this thing on the pole here tonight, or is it Jake gonna keep showing the speed? Now we know Nichols said last week that this is one of his favorite tracks, and he said he's very good at it. So we'll have to see what these guys can put down as Galvin's about ready to get his first lap put in here, Sam.
Gavin Rogers is going to be one of the first drivers to try to get a time in, as majority of the fast crew that is going to be part of this second pack of drivers, as everyone's on track by themselves. Ryan Kelly now going to be the top time with a 29.238 for himself. Jake Nichols now setting the tone, over a half of a tenth faster than the next driver in line of Ryan Kelly. The 73, that's just his first lap, and he already set the pole. Is there any more pickup for the 73? Because the other drivers, it's most likely going to be the second lap where they're going to have to contest with the 73. First lap for the 17 of Chris Stitt's going to be coming up shy, but he moves up into second place. Jared Talmadge's first lap going to line him up for fifth. Cedric Hunter going to be down in seventh, as Vincent Sora's second lap not good enough for the pole, as Jake Nichols holds strong. But will Gavin Rogers have the pace to try to get the pole for himself, as he grabbed the pole all the way back in season 9? Will it be pole this go around for the one? Not gonna be the case. He's not gonna be there. Fifth place on the board for himself. Stitt's gonna be third, and that could be that. Jake Nichols, he broke the streak of having a different driver be a pole sitter last week at Sonoma, and he is already looking to set the tone here for pole number 3 of the season here at Darlington. Times are finishing up. Ollie Fonseca cannot get a time in. Zach Hall not even able to qualify. And Jake Nichols, congratulations on taking your pole, your third pole of the season. Robert, just like that, the 73 is back on top.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did say, like I said, he did say that this is his best favorite track. So no surprise. Now the question is can anybody dethrone him, in tonight's race from starting on the pole? It's going to be a long race, and if you take your time, you never know what happens. Racing is racing, right? Things can happen out there.
Things can certainly change up as we are here into the warm-ups. This gives us time to take a closer look at how the season's been so far. And Robert, when we bring up these points, I mean, I'm not surprised on who's on top. Jake Nichols has been the driver. I mean, it's crazy to say he's a rookie, but he has been dominant in almost every series he runs in. An ex-peak driver, iRacing peak driver. He just knows how to get it done. Currently up 16 points over Vincent Sora, 25 points over Ryan Kelly. But we have to march our eyes all the way down to that cutoff line, because there's some drivers outside looking in, not showing up for today's race. We're missing out on Jan van Leer, who's at 22nd in points. He's been trying to find some consistency.
That hurts.
Matt Meir in 16th. He is looking like this could be a good chance to just hold steady, because that Knoll's not going to be racing here tonight. We're also I'm not seeing Brian P. Johnson. So there are some heavy hitters that are outside of the cut line that Matt Meir could survive another week. But Douglas Newbegin's here, as well as Brian Noel. So if those two Lucky Duck drivers can step up their game, that 16th spot could be wide open to take.
I was ready to say, I mean, just racking off the names that you just said there, Sam, and just looking, like you said, Chuck's here. He's going to move up. Danny's not here. He's going to drop down. Brian's not here, like you said. I mean, this from 17th on down is just going to be a jumble by next week. So, well, not next week. Actually, in 2026.
We'll be back on the 7th. Yeah, in the new year.
That's weird to say now.
It's quite crazy. But hey, talking about the schedule, let's move on over from our point standings to how the schedule's looking. This is our last race of 2025 for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as well for the WSSR, as they will take a 2-week break for Christmas as well for New Year's. We'll be back January 7th for the Milwaukee Mile, as that is expected to be quite a handful of a track. We'll see how the drivers are able to get things rolling for themselves this evening. Then we'll also have Michigan, Indianapolis. Then we'll head to Mexico City to try out the brand new track that was added in 2 big updates ago. We'll see how Mexico City road course is going to handle for this vehicle. Saw last week at Sonoma certainly can bring some drama. Then we got Rockingham and Talladega to finish out the regular season.
You know what?
And then we got the chase, but we'll worry about the chase once we get a little bit deeper into the field.
I just want to bring up real quick what makes me very interesting after we come back from our break here, going into the new year, is going to be in Indianapolis. We know Zach Hall's really fast at that track. Can he give something to Jake, on that track? That right in there in Michigan, Indianapolis, and then that road course. That right there, I think stretch time is going to be interesting.
It really should be. As we move away from our schedule, we've got 1 minute and 35 seconds left in our warm-ups, and this is our usual time where we talk about our pick'ems. And yeah, I honestly feel like we're going to bring up all of our picks of who we think's going to be the winners. Jake Nichols is the driver of note. He's expected to go for another win. He already has 3. Why not give him a 4th? I mean, Robert, maybe we could throw out who could be the other drivers. I was thinking about putting down if we ban Jake Nichols from our pick of Thomas Green, but I just don't know who else to really choose besides maybe Vincent Sora or Seth Knoll if they show up at any of the future races.
Yeah, I mean, right now, unfortunately, don't know. I mean, I have to agree with you. I think we have to ban Jake from letting us pick him anymore, and just hope. We've been trying to give him that curse. Maybe we have to get the voodoo out a little bit harder. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible at all. But thank you so much again. Hey, there are options that you can throw out on who could be that driver. As everyone is finishing up their warm-ups, Danny Ware getting some last-minute practice time in, and a few others as well, as we are about to get ready for 140 laps here this evening. No stage break, no fast repairs, 4 extra sets of tires in pit road. And that was another thing being talked about with some of the drivers is tire wear. How will that influence tonight's race? We'll be touching on that throughout this evening, but before we get to our starting grid, we want to say thank you to our title sponsor of Elwood Designs. If you're looking to make your own NASCAR liveries or schemes on iRacing, go check out Elwood Designs on Facebook as well as on Twitter/X. And if you'd like to go purchase some already made designs that you can work with, head on over to simwrapmarket.com and look up Alan Elwood. Thank you so much to Elwood Designs. They've been around since 2012, helping out drivers to have the best schemes out on iRacing. As we move over to our starting grid, we want to say thank you to Lucky Duck Motorsports for being our starting grid sponsor. Lucky Duck Motorsports, trying to always be a part of supporting those that they can. Always trying to help out with the Tiltify charity events. As Lucky Ducks, every driver has their own special charity scheme on board, as well as their holiday schemes throughout this stint of races before Christmas. Go check out Lucky Ducks on their social media on X. We are Lucky Ducks, and on Instagram, Lucky Duck Motorsports. Thank you so much to Lucky Ducks, as again, grabbing his 3rd pole this season, going to be Jake Nichols on top of the board. He was outside. It's been the driver that has been the bridesmaid all of this season so far. It's been Vincent Sora just watching in 2nd. Behind them in row number 2 and 3rd, it's the 17 of Chris Stitz and Ryan Kelly. Great qualifying times for the both of them. Gavin Rogers will start in 5th. 6th is Shane Terrian and Jarrett Talmadge finishing out our top 7. John Forbes in the 7 machine going to be in 8th. 9th is Cedric Hunter, and finishing out our top 10 is Brian Noel. In 11th, we've got the 8 machine of Brian McCann. The 57 of Chuck Sweeting going to be in 12th. 13th is the 31 of Thomas Green. A little bit further back in the field than I was expecting from this 31. Larry England going to be starting in 14th. 15th is Ross Tatum with Matt Meir in 16th. Ali Fonseca in 17th. with Ryan Kelly in 18th. 19th is Danny Ware. Douglas Newbiggin going to be in 20th. 21st is Ben Keeney, and not able to get a time in 22nd position is Zach Hall. Robert, certainly an evening of what could happen. This is a race where drama can happen, a lot of wrecks can happen, but also we could go caution free. That has happened in the past, but what are you expecting to see here in the early goings of tonight's race?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm basing this off the track itself, Sam, and we all know how Darlington is and how turn 3 is, and 1 and 2, and going into 3 and 4. So I really don't know. I'm basing it off the track, like I said. I think you just got to keep the car clean. How does the car handle here at Darlington? I wouldn't know. I don't personally know because I've never ran a lap, so I really don't know how the characters of this car is going to handle. We're going to find out here very shortly. So I would just try to just ride and take it easy, for the first, at least 10, 15 laps and see where you're sitting at.
Doesn't sound like a bad option at all. Well, if this is your first time seeing a Darlington race, a very unique oval track. The track is set up like an egg. Turns 1 and 2, the wider side of the track with 25 degrees banking. 3 and 4 with 23 degrees of banking, a much narrower course. The straightaways, they even have banking at 6 degrees. You're constantly at an angle. You're constantly trying to keep up with the momentum, and you're constantly trying to be the driver up front, which is Jake Nichols, Vincent Sora. They enter the restart zone, and race 6 of season 12 is underway here at Darlington for the WSSR Cup Series, presented by Elwood Designs. Jake Nichols, the rookie, he's been phenomenal so far, and he continues to do so as he's already going to be in the lead position. Getting in line quickly, going to be Vincent Sora behind them. Side by side, going to be Ryan Kelly and Chris Stitz. They finally get in line. Shane Harrion and also Cedric Hunter going to be the two drivers side by side, heading down into turn number 3, a much more narrow part of the course. You gotta whoa up and slow down. With all the drivers, the dirty air, the trickier spot to be. As out of the exit of turn number 4, Jake Nichols leads lap number 1 and is hoping to be the dominator, but Vincent Sora following in suit, but they're already starting to get a little bit spaced out currently for the field. Driver already going to be in the outside wall. That's going to be Chris Stitz in the 17. Big whoa up for himself as the 17 falls back into the clutches of the Madhouse. Outside of the top 10, where drivers are still side by side. Ryan McCann, teammate of Chris Stitz, trying to give space for himself, but Robert, a couple of laps in, and up front, no surprise with the way they're running. Jake Nichols, fastest lap, 3 laps in.
Yeah, that's it here. Like we said, Darlington, the one thing is that you want to get single file like this and race the racetrack and not the cars. But unfortunately, in the back here, we do see some cars, racing each other in the back. But also, the other thing, Sam, is that, you hit that wall or you get sucked into the wall. The wall don't let go. It sucks you and keeps you there for a little bit, and that could be, if you're not paying attention and a guy gets into the wall, you could run right into the back of him by accident.
Yeah, if you're not careful, that is very easy to do, especially off the exit of the corner. All these drivers trying to find ways to accelerate, keep as much speed on the straightaway when they exit these corners, but sometimes you have to back out immediately when you recognize you just don't have the space to get into the throttle as quickly as you want. As the field single files out, and this is kind of what we were expecting to see this field get into. That first 2 laps is really where the drama can ramp up if you're not careful. Heard about after 10 to 15 laps, if you're not protecting your tires, this vehicle can act a little bit random at times, where it can snap in the middle of the corner. Sometimes it will just take you to the outside wall, so drivers have to be on top of their equipment here in the early going. Don't over push your vehicle, but if you got an opportunity, why not strike? As here's the 31 of Thomas Green trying to get by the 9 of Shane Terrian, as Terrian will fall back to 12th position. It's Thomas Green, one of the faster drivers during the practice times that were being put down. Not the best qualifying run, and you're already seeing those tails getting close to the outside wall.
Well, that's it. I mean, what Shane Carrion did there was nice. He backed out and said, you know what, take that position. I'm not going to fight you. You don't want to battle these guys. Again, you know, if somebody's going to come into you and pass you like Green did there, just let them go. If you're faster than them, you're going to catch them. But like you said, we're watching 31 right now, and he's slap tailing, and then it also looks like there was a vehicle up front of Brian Noel there. It looks like he got tail happy too there, Sam.
A little bit snappy was the double zero, as he currently runs in 8th place. And we talked about the fact that Brian Noel, Douglas Newbegin, this could be a critical race. We didn't know what speed we're going to find from Matt Muir in the 72. Currently runs in 15th position, but a good run by the double zero and the 77 could catapult them into a better spot or even get them inside of the top 16 in points before our 2-week break with the holidays of Christmas and New Year's in front of us. We will be back January 7th for more WSSR action. Our first broadcast back after the holiday break will actually be January 3rd. We'll have our 6 hours of Daytona charity event trying to raise money for Breakthrough T1Z. As cannot wait to have our 5th annual charity event in front of us, says Danny Ware. That's close to the outside wall as he's trying to race with Chuck Sweeting in the 57. Green and black machine ahead, but Ware does not look as comfortable as he was the 1.5-mile tracks that we were running before. Here's another driver who doesn't look as comfortable as we've seen in the past, the 12 of Kyle Rochelle. A little bit slower than we've seen all the way back when we first started covering some of the leagues that Kyle Rochelle was in. He was one of those top 5 drivers each and every week. But here at Darlington, like you said, Robert, you're kind of racing the racetrack, not really your competition around you.
No, and what's really shocking right now is watching Zach Hall back here in, running in 21st position. This is odd to see him back here running in 21st position. I'm sure he's going to be able to hopefully gain some positions, I would imagine. But he did say out in the chat that he's not feeling comfortable here, Sam, and I'm not sure what he's struggling with, but it's uncorrect, what's the word I'm trying to say? It's not Zach.
It's not it's not his characteristic of seeing this 32, the way that he's running right now. But to quote Zach, what he said in the chat, the 32 machine is going to struggle tonight. You can lock that one in. And he didn't even get a qualifying assignment. Currently runs in 21st position for that 32 team. And I was listening into the Cat 5 crew during practice, and he really did not feel comfortable. A lot of it is going to come down to how do you save your tires. Didn't get a fuel number of how long you can push your fuel, but tire-wise, it was looking like if you try to push your fuel out to the maximum, there's going to be a question of, do you get to the fuel or do you blow a tire on how aggressive you're pushing your equipment? As right on board, getting a sense of what it's like on pushing your equipment. Drivers getting very close to one another. But another factor that we have to watch out for, the sun is setting. That backstretch is going to get tougher and tougher with the sun starting to get more and more into driver's eyes as Vincent Sora grazes the wall.
Grazes the wall. You can braze the wall, but like I said, you don't want to get into the wall, because you get into the wall, then the wall don't let go of you. But yes, the other thing is and we'll eventually get an in-car shot of the cockpit. But that sun, depending on what, these drivers have their settings, some might have that sun toned down a little bit, and some might have it really up, and it could affect you going into the turns there, Sam.
It really can. It's one of those factors where it may not hurt you immediately, but the sun can affect if you're racing someone else on seeing your braking points, that comfortability. It certainly can be a factor that affects a lot of drivers as we hop on board the Hello Kitty machine of Cedric Hunter. As he currently runs in 7th, you can kind of see that sun. It will get blocked by the building ahead of him, but it is certainly something that is going to get worse and worse for the next about 15-20 laps. And then after about 30, it should be out of the way, but drivers are going to have a tough one, at least for this first stint before those lights click on and you're fully under that nighttime condition. 16 laps in, Jake Nichols still leads the way, almost up a little bit under a second ahead of Vincent Sora. Sora quite a distance ahead of Ryan Kelly. But here's the 77 of Douglas Newbegin and the 9 of Shane Terrian. I think for Shane Terrian here tonight, this would be such a good run he was hoping for this evening for the 9 machine. As today is going to be Shane Terrian's birthday. In the chat, say happy birthday for the 9 machine, as he's currently trying to have his best run possible, but this was obviously not the start he was looking for himself.
No, but hey, it's his birthday, so, maybe his birthday present is direct the whole field a win. Yeah.
Oh, that would be certainly a prize to get into victory lane.
Yeah.
If you can get it done. He's got quite a journey as he's about 8 seconds back from our leader, back in 13th position. But as we saw before, he was kind of giving up spots. The drivers were pushing and immediately get those positions back if tire wear becomes a bigger factor. As the field continues to race on, we also want to say thank you to more amazing sponsors that are partnered up with us. We want to say thank you to GTR Simulators. If you're trying to get into getting your own racing rig to start racing like the professionals, get a sense of what it's like to race like the pros with getting your own GTA Compact V2 or just your own GTR Simulators rigs, head on over to gtrsimulators.com and remember to use the promo code WSSR at checkout for $100 or more purchases. Don't miss out on your chance to upgrade your rig and race like the pros at GTR Simulators. You love the fact that when sponsors come around and help out different leagues. And Robert, right now, certainly these drivers, they're trying to race like the pros, and they're getting a sense of what it's like to be like the pros out there. Sometimes you just are in a conga line and you're stuck racing and you're just waiting for the driver ahead of you to make a mistake more than you pushing the issue. As we watch Larry Yingling currently ride in 14th place. Do want to push up to the battle that's happening for 8th position. Now he's fallen to 9th. It's going to be Brian Noel in the double zero having some issues. He got off the exit of turn 2 uncomfortably close to the outside wall. Chris Stitz got close, and here's some of the closest action. A gaggle of cars on top of one another. It's the double zero of Brian Noel, also 31 of Thomas Green, Brian McCann, Douglas Newbegin. The conga line got a little bit mixy there for a second as the 31 trying to look for an opportunity to get by Noel.
Yeah, and you can see Noel is just, he's struggling right now. That back end don't look happy for him right now. So, maybe it's the last name, it's a holiday, right? Noel. I know there's a song out there called Noel.
Yeah, getting a little bit of holiday cheer out there. As
I'm trying to hint at you. I really want to sing.
I know you and your holiday Christmas jingles. You will have to get them out. As if you haven't watched some of our Twitch streams on Tuesday nights when Robert, myself, and Zach are racing in the BRB Cup Series. Robert, if he has a chance, if he's given just one note, he's singing some Christmas jingles.
Amen on that.
As Douglas Newbegin now going to be making the pass over Brian McCann and now slot himself into 11th place. So the 77, he's starting to make his surge forward, as well as Zach Hall trying to look for an opening to get by the 24 of Ali Fonseca. And just small little chances, little openings. If you got a glimpse, you kind of have to just take it and go for the pass. If you're being too patient, this actually could hurt you in the long run. And for Zach Hall, just the uncomfortability is certainly there for the 32, as he is still not able to attack or go for a pass as he gets close to that 24's back bumper, but enough space for them to get around 3 and 4 as Hall's trying to get the better launch off the exit of turn 4. He's gonna lose the rear end, gets back in line, and there's that just, you could see the image that he was going for. The vision was there, but the accelerator a little bit too strong and iron-footed his way off the exit of the corner, lost the rear end. But we want to bounce back up to the battling for 9th place because Douglas Newbegin, while we were watching Zach Hall struggle, he just made 2 passes in a quick fashion. Douglas Newbegin now up to 9th place for the 77. As also following in suit going to be the 31 of Thomas Green, trying to get by Brian Noel, who no longer really has the strength to hold out, but he is doing his best to keep the field at bay and letting his Lucky Duck Motorsports teammate pull away as the 77 of Douglas Newbegin continues to roar on. But Noel, I mean, he currently is looking like a shepherd. He's holding back the field as he's leading the charge.
Nope, and now we got Brian McCann here. He's going to look underneath Thomas Green at 31, and you can see that car that stuck there for him really good. So that's what you're looking for, right? You don't want the car to get wiggle wobbly. You just want to make sure you get into the gas very easy. And really great battle going on right now here between these two guys. As it looks like Brian McCann, yep, he's going to clear and make that pass.
And now Shane Terrian in the 9 machine. He's starting to look for an opportunity to try to get by the 31, and all that patience starting to show up here. 27 laps in. And giving you, the viewers, a little bit of an update on what the times are like for these drivers. They're running about a second to a second and a half slower than their best times that they've ran, as close to that outside wall. Going to be Shane Terrian. He's trying a different opportunity. Also, Douglas Newby close to the outside wall. Thomas Green, trouble for the 31 as himself and Shane Terrian get close off the exit of turn 2. Terrian will take advantage. He'll move on to 12th place as Thomas Green trying to fight back for himself. Ahead of him, side by side, is going to be Noel and Brian McCann. And gotta say, Robert, the mid-pack getting a lot more racier than I was expecting to see, as McCann once again trying to get by Noel.
Yeah, I think what this is all coming down to, Sam, though, is that the people who save tires to the people that might have burned them up just a little bit too hard, as now we got Larry just letting somebody go by back there. But I think it's all coming down to tire wear right now, as Brian McCann dives it into 3, exiting out, and wow, what a move.
He is trying to muscle his way forward to get by this 00 and able to do so. Ooh. Noel just no longer has even a glimpse of us. He gets to the outside wall. Shane Terrian has to back out. Back into the wall again, and Terrian to the apron practically. Thomas Green has to follow the 9 and the 00. All that hard work, all of the holding back, it finally has spilled over, as he is now just holding on for dear life for this 00 machine. He wants the competition race around, and what once was holding on for 8th place, now floundering to get outside of the top 15 is Noel. Ross Tatum, contact almost there, as the 21 of the 00 just giving us some of the best shots we could ask for here, as Tatum gets back in line, but Noel, big wiggle off the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, these tires are gone. You can tell the guys who saved tires and didn't save tires. There's Ross Tatum in that little W's machine there, Sam. He's trying to work his way around, trying to figure out how to get around, and I think he's just going to settle back down and just wait, because again, that 00 does not look comfortable at all, and I think I would just calm down, actually, and just wait for that, Noel to make a mistake and pass him instead of trying to force the issue.
Well, there it is. There's that mistake, and there's the pounce to the inside. Also behind them, going to be trouble. That's going to be Matt Muir, who was doing very similar mistakes of getting in the outside wall. 3 wide. This lane will run. You don't want to see that happen. Hall's going to be trying to follow Matt Muir on the outside. I don't know if that's the driver you want to follow, as going to be Kyle Rochelle on the inner groove. Fonseca trying to find an opening. And this is just madhouse for last place. Who can take the final spots of this racetrack is Matt Muir. The exit 2 has been his danger zone. Does he have the momentum? He does. And I think that might have been a shock for everyone that was running behind that 72, because I think they were anticipating a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a slide, and Zach Hall diving it down low, accelerating down the corner. And Muir, does he have to fight? He will drag race his way down the front stretch.
Well, somebody's either got to give or don't give here, and we're going to find out going down into turn 1 here, as it looks like, nope, Zach Hall's going to dive it in there. Now, can he make it stick? It looks like it. Then we got Kyle Rochelle. He's trying to get underneath the 72. Ollie Fonseca, oh man, I'm telling you, wow. I feel like we're watching. I don't know what we're watching. All I know is this is crazy.
I'm just waiting for someone to get into the wall, get into one another. Well, there's the wall for Matt Muir, and you're just waiting for a mistake to just pile up and take someone out. And somehow, even with the wiggles, with the slides, with the smashing into the wall, we continue to race on and continue to stay clean and green. 34 laps in, but these guys are really running into the outside wall now, and the question then is going to loom. These drivers have 4 sets of tires in pit road. You could take a set here in the next 5 laps. Go with the undercut pit stop. Go with tires, and you might have a chance to try to just see if pitting early is the better strategy. Brian Noel going to be the first driver to take an opportunity to head into pit road for the 00. And let's see if this pitting early strategy is the way to go here tonight, or is it push your fuel long? As 40 laps in, I'm expecting a lot more drivers to take that opportunity, but on lap 35, not the worst time to hit pit road for the double zero.
I mean, it has, yeah, I mean, it's not the worst time, but it has its ups and downs. You know, you go in early, you got to make them tires last a little bit longer with the guys that stay out. Now, if you get a yellow, that of course gets all thrown out the window. But as this race plays on, that could come back and hurt you, especially at a track that eats the tires the way Darlington does in the first place. So I don't know. I mean, you're weighing your game here, but I mean, hey, I mean, you can't catch the top three. I mean, you can't follow the leader and expect to win. You got to do something different.
Yeah, you can't follow the same strategy, especially when on the same tire set. They're just blatantly faster than you. But I do like the undercut, the pit sooner than everyone else strategy. One, because we saw if you pit earlier, the less fuel you take in, the shorter of a pit stop you have on top of, you're going to have the advantage on tires. You'll be able to gain a lot more time. I really like the undercut pit stop, just based on the fact that you're going to be saving 2 seconds of time instead of the guys that are pushing and have to take a full tank of fuel at the end of this run. As Matt Meir going to be the next driver who also takes tires. Not surprised for either or of Noel or Meir, as both of them were out of control for the last 15 laps with their tires. Everyone else doing their best to keep it steady and stay out on track as long as they can. Now Ben Keeney going to be the next driver to hit pit road. 3 drivers already going to make their stops here. 40 laps about to be completed. Jake Nichols leading the charge, but the interesting note, our top 3 are closing in on one another. Jake Nichols is no longer just 9/10, almost a second ahead of Vincent Sora. He's now down to 0.7 seconds. Ryan Kelly at one moment was almost 2 seconds behind Vincent Sora. He's down to 0.6. So our top 3, almost all of them, are within a second of one another. This is starting to close in and look good at the end of this run. If Sora and Kelly maybe pick up their speed and keep themselves a little bit closer at the end of these stints, could be a threat to watch out for, as lap 40 has been started. And looking at some of the closer battles that are happening on track, the closest one is Ross Tatum, and as well going to be the 67 of Larry Yingling. And Ross Tatum, he's heading to pit road.
Not a bad call either, as I think a lot of people are going to start hitting pit road here. But yeah, I mean, I was up here as you were talking, Sam. I was watching lap times, and there for a while, Sora was faster than the leader there for a couple laps. Now, Jake Nichols has picked the pace back up again and put it back up to about 8/10 of also second now, as Nichols is now starting to pull away a little bit. So I think right now Jake is just, I think he's toying the field here a little bit.
I mean, you never know what you're truly going to find in that standpoint, as past the 4th place has been made. That's John Forbes able to get by Jarrett Talmadge, the 7 machine. One of our bigger movers of those inside of the top 10, up 4 spots as he qualified back in 8th place and is now up to 4th. But here is the, we thought we were going to see the difference, but that is not working currently.
I'm going to try something else. I was trying to work on something for the league, but let me see if I can maybe fix it.
Yeah, well, Robert Moyer Jr. running again double duty here tonight, running production as well as commentating. We do have an update of a driver calling it early here tonight, and that will be the Little Debbie's machine of Ross Tatum. He is officially out of this race. I mean, he was starting to make the push forward. I thought maybe with a pit stop could have gotten fresh tires, maybe could have gained a few more positions, but for Ross, if he's not running for the win, I think he saw, you know what, let's just call it a night early. We don't need to hurt ourselves on running here at Darlington, a very physical track, with how mentally draining it can be as well as physically draining, with every lap being so crucial on hitting your marks. As you see Vincent Sora doing his thing here in 2nd place. He is starting to lose time. That was a fun about 10 lap stint of Sora looking faster than Jake Nichols, and Nichols has just turned on the afterburners. Ryan Kelly was looking quick. He is now starting to falter back, and a little bit maybe a lap traffic getting in the way. Could be a little bit of the factor of just you burned off your tires trying to make that march forward. and Nichols, having such a big lead, was able to trickle off on his pace. We talked about the sun, and there it is, the last little glimpses of the sun affecting these drivers. And Robert, the sun glare obviously is a factor that you can turn off or have on in the settings. Most drivers like to turn it off so it doesn't affect them, but there's some people that like to keep the realism in. That certainly is a factor that when the lights get clicked on and the sun is gone, it certainly is a beautiful sight to see on the sunsets that sim racing on iRacing gives us. Here's to take a look at our weather as more drivers heading into pit road. Air temperature 78 degrees Fahrenheit, track tap 92 degrees Fahrenheit, a little bit of a breeze. Humidity slightly higher than we would want, but in sim time is 7:24, about to be sunset. And the day that this track was picked out was back in August, so that was when the sun could be out that late during the day.
Yeah, back in August. Yeah. Well, good pick from the league admins here. Yeah, I mean, like you said, that sun can really, do some funny things to you. Now, I'm the type of driver that I turn that stuff all the way up because I want to see the real stuff. So I go into these turns, I'm blind.
You got to keep that realism, not looking for, online advantages any way that you can. There's some people that look for every advantage possible, and that's where a lot of these drivers are top on speed. Gonna find that little bit of extra nuggets for themselves to take off and go. Speaking about nuggets and taking off and going, some drivers that are leaving pit road, Brian McCann, as well as Danny Ware, Kyle Rochelle, all leaving pit road right now. Entering pit road, Jared Talmadge, as well as Shane Terrian getting service done. As Brian McCann and Ollie Fonseca having their own duel, as McCann with fresher tires just showing how much more speed he's got underneath him as he is gone at this current moment. More drivers getting their pit stops done here, about to be starting lap 50. And Robert, it has certainly been a fun race at moments. The mid-pack and back half of the field giving us some fun interactions with these packs on top of one another. But we know after this pit cycle is over, if we're able to stay green, this is where drivers are really going to break away, and the spacing out factor is going to prove who had a clean pit stop, who didn't, and who just got blatantly the fastest vehicle out here.
Well, yeah, and people don't talk about it much though. Too is your in lap and your out lap too. It's just not coming down pit road. Making sure you don't get speeding and then hit your pit box, and make sure you have a good pit stall. You have to have that in lap and out lap too, which you can gain some time. And what I mean by that is how hard do you get into pit road and how fast can you get out of pit road comes a key factor every once in a while too, Sam.
Yeah, you really can lose and gain a lot of time. And one of the drivers that's going to lose a lot of time, Douglas Newbigging, black flag, caught speeding. That is a 40-second hold on top of where he's going to get his service done. So that for the 77, if we stay green throughout this pit cycle, most likely we'll go a lap down, potentially 2 laps down. And what was looking like a brilliant day for Newbigging that could have catapulted him into the top 16 in points may not be the case, and that could be going to Brian Noel if he can have a strong run here, unless Matt Meir can turn things around. But a shocking moment for the 77, first driver caught speeding in quite a while. As Jake Nichols, pit stop's done, he's back out there on track and able to try to stay ahead of his competition. And I'm looking at where Jake Nichols runs right now compared to the competition around him. Vincent Sora, Brian Kelly, they're hoping to get ahead of the 73 after their pit stops are done, and it will be the case for the 3 machine. He will be ahead of Jake Nichols, so advantage to Ryan Kelly that can really change this race, because for the first time tonight, Nichols will have traffic to get by.
Well, just speaking of that on the pit stops now, I don't know if you looked at the data here, Sam. I don't have it for the viewerships out there, but Kelly had a down pit lane of 48, and his pit stop was a 14.9 to Nichols' going down pit lane was a 48.8. which was a little.
But caution, trouble, Sora's involved, Ben Kinney involved, and just like that, the race is turned upside down because multiple drivers were yet to come into pit road. And oh no, in the middle of the pit cycle, carnage strikes as Ben Kinney, Vincent Sora make contact as Vincent Sora try to get by the lap down driver.
Well, let's see if we can get back here and see exactly what happened here, Sam. We'll go back
as there they are in line with one another, and just Vincent Sora, I think he may be expecting the 98 to go to a different spot. He did not move. 15 runs him over. And that is going to be a caution thrown. That really threw a wrench in everything here. But Vincent Sora, Ben Kinney over the radio trying to have a conversation of what they felt like they were trying to do. And for Ben Kinney, he was trying to get to the outside. He didn't move up there quick enough. And Vincent Sora just runs them over with the poor communication on where they wanted to go. And
yeah,
I mean, they usually say if you're the faster driver, it's your, you're the one in control of deciding where you're going to place your vehicle to make the pass cleanly. You hope that the other driver will stay in a predictable spot. Ben was in a pretty predictable spot. He ran the line that has been ran all night long. I was not expecting the 15 to go for the pass right there, and carnage and contact made. And for Vincent Sora, he talked about how he needs a perfect race to win and beat Jake Nichols. Well, that is already thrown away perfection here tonight, but it will give an opportunity for Ryan Kelly. Jake Nichols, this next restart, got to be critical for the 3 machine, as a few drivers able to get their pit stops done. This also puts a lot of drivers in an awkward spot of having to take the wave around. Lucky dog position will go to Gavin Rogers in the 1 machine in 10th place, but everyone from 11th on back gonna have to stay out on track, be on older tires, and take the wave around to get back on the lead lap, or at least get back to just 1 lap down.
Yeah, and not make a pit stop either. So they're going to have about 5 to, what are we looking at here? 5 to 10 laps on different set of tires here. Some are going to have 5, some 4, some 7, some 4, 9 is the highest I see. So
19 is the highest. That is going to be Matt Meir in 14th place. 16 laps on their tires. Ben Kinney, but he was just caught up in that spin, so his tires are even worse. So we'll see how those tires. Does that make a big difference
on tires, Sam, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Tires, I mean, drivers just after 6 laps were about almost a second slower than their fastest time. So guys that are getting freshies, Thomas Green, Larry Yingling, Brian Noel, if they can take it easy here, they're going to be the first ones with fresh rubber. Just allow the front runners to burn off their stuff, and you might be able to take that lead in some of these spots quite easily, but being patient is the key factor here tonight.
Yeah.
As the pace car lights are off, we're going to be taking off this time by. You also saw flashing on the bottom there, our 1 to go, presented by our 6 Hours of Daytona charity race. Go check out if you are able to our Discord community channel, where you can find ways if you would like to race in the charity race. It is 6 hours of endurance racing, kind of a practice. If you would like to get ready for your 24 hours of Daytona iRacing experience, it's a way to get some fun practice in, as well as help out for a great cause. Ryan Kelly, Jake Nichols, get ready. It's time to see, does Nichols have the pace? Will he stay with the patience? And can Ryan Kelly hold back the 73 as we roar down into turn number 1? Nichols is trying to look for a little bit of an early apex to tackle for the lead position. Ryan Kelly holds strong for now, but for the battle for the lead, I mean, the 73, we've seen in those first couple of races that Nichols won in, he was willing to be patient, just settle in, follow the drivers ahead until he saw an opportunity to pounce. That's what I'm expecting to see here. It's going to be Nichols waiting for Kelly to just make one mistake, and that's where the 73 will pounce for that lead spot.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's going to happen here. As right now, we're going to see if the 73 tries to pounce or if he's going to ride, and right now everybody said, you know what, we're going to get single file here. We learned the first time, what these tires do, and they got all gaggly baggly and they were beating and banging on each other. So I think some drivers were like, I don't want to go through that again.
Absolutely not, as Nichols trying to make the three, maybe outmaneuver himself, get out of position in between these corners, not able to do so. Here's some other spots of drivers looking for opportunities. Update on the 15 of Vincent Sora. He currently runs back in 10th place with some major damage. Here's the 00 of Brian Noel that we're right on board with. He's in 7th position currently. And for Brian Noel, fresh rubber for himself. How well can he push forward, or will he stay patient? It's going to be the key question of nope. The first driver on fresh rubber trying to attempt to go for a pass. It's going to be Thomas Green in the 31. He was attempting to go for a move to get by Jared Talmadge. Not able to do no contact. Spawn. There goes the 27. Caution is out. No one else looks to be involved. Well, that's not the way you want to make the pass. But there is the contact off the exit of the corner. Just the closing rate with fresh rubber to old tires. And Thomas Green gonna take his Lucky Duck teammate around with him.
I was gonna say they're friends. I didn't think Thomas Green would race him that hard, but apparently not. I mean, that position meant a lot to him, I guess.
I mean, I would need to see a different version of that. I don't know if that was pure contact, net code. I need to see a different shot at it, because these guys are, yes, they're best friends. They know how to race around one another. They aren't known for, giving a tap and spinning the driver around. Here's going to be the aerial shot of Thomas Green. Accelerating, and just almost contact there.
It's coming out.
They head down. It was out of two. Yeah, it was out of two where the contact was made. And once again, closing rate, the fresh tires. Thomas Green trying to make this pass as soon as possible. And yep, there it is. Just a small tap, and away that 27 goes.
It don't look like the 27 got into the wall. He just spun around, which is a good thing. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be happy about getting spun around, but hey, I mean, no harm, no foul, I guess.
No, not at all. And this comes around at a weird time for some drivers. You've already used one set of tires. Well, we're close enough to halfway that you could technically use your second set. But a lot of the drivers that took the wave around, they're heading into pit road to get a set of tires, which would give them the advantage here on this next restart. That's everyone from 11th on back. Vincent Sora leading that charge with Shane Terry and Cedric Hunter, Jared Talmadge, and Robert. We talked about it in the first 20 laps. Sometimes you got to get off sequence to the leader if you want a chance to win. And this is that perfect, sometimes like what they like to call tire gamble. You hope to be on the better tire sequence for a run, and this could be it if we're able to stay clean and green.
Yeah, if we say, I mean, exactly what you said there. I mean, you're going to get better tires, of course. You're going to have more fuel than everybody else. And not only this also helps out Sora. I mean, he's got damage. I don't know how much damage he's got, but, that's going to give him time to get in there and get them damage fixed. The track is not very air-dependent track, so he might be able to get that, 15 fix and work his way up through the field. Still might not be a winning car, but, top 5, hey, take it after, what happened there with the 98 of Ben.
Yeah, you absolutely will take it as the field getting ready for the pace car lights to go off, and there they go. Everyone now going to stack side by side. And Ryan Kelly able to defend for that lead position. Jake Nichols trying to look for an advantage to get by here on this restart. As looking at the stats coming into tonight, we've got a couple of drivers that are trying to continue on their trend. We've got 4 drivers that have finished inside of the top 10 every race so far this season. Those drivers being Jake Nichols, Vincent Sora, Ryan Kelly, and Jarrett Talmadge. Can they continue the streak? That's going to be the question of the night, with Jared Talmadge being spun around. Vincent Sora caught up in that earlier wreck with Ben Keeney. There's opportunities, but we could be left with just 2 drivers finishing out this race in the top 10 to continue on their finishing in the top 10 streak. Jake Nichols and Ryan Kelly who lead up front. Pace car pulls off. It's time for these drivers to get racing. The lights click on. Does that mean the driving gets a little bit more dramatic, or can we keep it clean and green to the end? Into the restart zone we go. Green flag is out. And Ryan Kelly, Jake Nichols, and the rest of the crew roar down into turn number 1. Top 4 already going to be single filed out. Nichols trying to look for an opportunity to exit out of turn number 2 with the better run. The 73, will he wait? Will he attack? And it's attack mode for Jake Nichols as he heads down into turn number 3. That 73 no longer wants to wait. He recognizes he needs to make the pass now. It just is too hard to make passes. Off the exit turn 4, they drag race into turn 1, but it's Kelly who leads the way.
Wow, what a drag race down to turn number 1. We'll see if they can keep doing that all race. That'd be interesting, as now we're, the light, like you said, the lights clicked on here, Sam, and now we're seeing how low these cars are running. They're sparking down through the turns. That is an awesome sight to see for us and the fans out there. I don't know how that feels in the car.
I mean, a little bit bouncy, a little bit of a shimmy on the straightaways with all the bumps that they're dealing with. But now emerging into third place, John Forbes Jr., the driver that won here last season, led 57 of 150 laps was John Forbes, as he is hoping to get back into victory lane, but trouble further on back. Vincent Sorr going to be rushing into the outside wall. Ryan Kelly going to be right behind him with Douglas Newbegin and Danny Ware also going to be in line. This is for 15th position for the 15. And Vincent Sora just feeling like a snowball. It's just rolling down a hill. It just is getting worse and worse. The issues continue to blossom as other drivers further up ahead having their own woes, as Cedric Hunter, as well as the 9 of Shane Tarian. And close off the exit turn number 4. That's now the exit out at turn number 2. And it is looking like the 9 trying to find the opening to the inside as Tarian, the birthday boy, will he be able to crack into 8th place? And it looks like for 9th, almost there for the 9 machine.
Almost there, but nope. And you just can't get a run. The cars down below there coming out, and there's just nothing you can do, as Tarian's still not going to give it up. He drives the 2 tires down below the double dotted lines there, which is, you're allowed to, I mean, but you got to be very careful with that, as, oh man, we got something.
Thomas Green was attempting to go for a big pass with those fresher tires, but got into the outside wall. Big loss of time for himself. He'll now shimmy his way from 4th place all the way down to 7th. Luckily able to get back in line as Chris Stitz follows the Tiltify machine, who just looks to be really struggling at this moment. After that contact, a little bit of a bump into Jared Talmadge, really just took all of the life out of this 31 machine. That I think that caution hurt him because of how aggressive he was racing on that last short stint. Those tires are not feeling as fresh as they were hoping to be. As talking about fresh tires, the first driver with fresh rubber gonna be Shane Tarian and Cedric Hunter back in 9th and 10th place. Looking at their lap times, very close and similar to our leader. They gotta figure out how to be patient and also push forward with this set that they have underneath them.
Well, I know I know you can't hear, but if the fans out there, you listen really closely with these cars exiting out of 2 here, Sam. You can hear the cars are like going up the hill and lifting and then coming back down. And the cars seem pretty stable, but you can hear it, and you feel that in your racing wheel.
You certainly can. These drivers just hoping to continue to race this thing out, as more drivers brushing into the outside wall. Gavin Rogers and a few others, a slight little graze. But with us being under the lights, the sparks flying, you certainly can get some very nice photos and pictures. And if you're looking to get your own photos and pictures shown off, head on over to Trophy Smack, trophysmack.com. Your way to show off your high moments and your low moments, from pre-made and custom trophies, belts, rings, and more. Head on over to trophysmack.com. One of those mores that you can get is a wall smack. Wall smack is a metal plate you can place on your wall or have on your shelf with a stand. Go on over to trophysmack.com and use the promo code WSSR Smack at checkout for 10% off on your wall smack, where you can have your high moments or your low moments shown off on that metal plate. And when you want to put on your wall, remember to use their wall safe magnet system from Trophy Smack. Thank you so much to, again, Trophy Smack, GTR Simulators, Lucky Ducks, and as well I want to say thank you to Sim Precision Prints, our trophy provider for season 12 of the championship, as well as season 11. It is great to have a local group tag along and be the trophy provider. Sim Precision Prints, giving you 3D printed custom racing items, one-of-a-kind pieces, and so much more. Head on over to simprecisionprints.shop and remember to use the promo code WSSR at checkout for 10% off on $50 or more purchased. Sim Precision Prints, go check out. They're amazing supplies that you can get. 75 laps in, seeing the competition on top of one another. Vincent Sora, he's at his moments, he's at his woes, and drivers are respectfully getting out of the way of a driver that is fighting to get every position back. Vincent Sora now up to 14th position.
Yeah, he's up to 14th, and I think he's on a mission. I kind of don't blame him. I mean, that's what you want, I guess. You know, get on that mission and go, but also don't want to burn the tires off.
Yeah, burning off the tires is not a good thing to see or do. And I'm a little bit concerned for Vincent Sora. This is not a track that you really want to race mad at. Yes, you can put down screamer lap times, be quick, but if you drive mad, you can go over that limit so quickly. That's the one thing I'm getting concerned about this 15, but he's on a charge. He's running very similar lap times to our leader. Vincent Sora, I don't think his night's fully over just yet. Might need a couple of more cautions, maybe a couple of more helps on track position, pit road stop shenanigans that could help out the 15. We'll have to wait and see. As the drivers up front, Ryan Kelly still leading the way as more drivers getting into the outside wall. Gavin Rogers, I am getting concerned, as well as Brian McCann. Both of those drivers really have gotten close to the outside wall. Some have actually hit it quite aggressively. And one driver that just got outside of the top 10, that's the 31 of Thomas Green. His woes continue to balloon out for himself.
Well, yeah, and you just said, you overdrive the car, the lady in black, because what she's known for, Darlington lady in black. She can reach out and slap you, and that is a nice way to say it. She'll reach out and grab that car and slap you and say, you better chill out, because if you don't, I'm going to take this car from you.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of these drivers, that's also the phrase of the track too tough to tame. Yeah. I mean, there's so many phrases that they've given to this course that is so difficult at times. I mean, I know for me personally, whenever I'm doing sim racing, I see Darlington on the schedule, and I'm a little scared to go out there because I know this track is a handful. It's tough. It's not an easy course where, every lap, it's practically the same thing you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Every lap is an opportunity. Just one mistake, throttling up too quick, going into the corner too fast. You don't have the space of other courses where one mistake, I'll just let off a little bit more. You make a mistake, you can see there from Gavin Rogers, you're right into the outside wall. You accelerate too soon, you're slamming the wall at the exit of the corner. You gotta be picture perfect every single lap. And that's tough for some of the drivers. As take a look at the battle for the lead. Kyle Rochelle, gonna be Ryan Kelly, trying his best to stay ahead of Jake Nichols.
He's looking good right now. He's holding 2/10 back, 2 to 3 tenths, give or take here and there. But car's looking stable right now, and he's in and out of the gas. He's running about the same lap time. Yeah, he's right up to the same lap time as Nichols there. So I don't know. We'll see. I think though, if this stays the way it's looking here, 82 laps of 140. We'll have to see when they decide to make that pit stop and their final pit stop if we don't see another yellow come out.
Well, speaking about pit stops, into pit road, going to be the 31 of Thomas Green. He was hoping to push these tires and fuel out to at least lap 100. I think that's a marker that a lot of drivers are looking for, to get to lap 100, 105, maybe a little bit further than that. And that's when you're going to make your final stop of the evening. But Thomas Green, we'll see if he stays out on track or calls it a night, because it was a rough one. He's putting 4 tires in fuel. We'll wait and see if he leaves pit road. Third place runner, that's John Forbes. He's still within about a half second to our leader. This is not a bad spot for this 7 to be, because one mistake from the 2 runners in front of him, he can pounce and try to take that spot away. But also he's close enough where you have one good pit entry, one good pit exit, you could be ahead of your competition with a good pit stop. But caution is out, and oh no, trouble for the 17 of Chris Stitz, Cedric Hunter, and just in a blink of an eye, this race is not over yet, as the 13 Hello Kitty machine got ran over.
And there goes the bumper.
Yeah, there goes his bumper. This is after the carnage, just trying to drive away. But Chris Stitz, Jared Talmadge, excuse me, talking about drivers racing mad. Well, some were getting into the outside wall. He gave Hunter a chance. Pounce, go forward. Jared Talmadge, huge run for the 27. But then overzealous, just absolutely taking out the 13, who then overcorrects in front of Stitz. And away they both go. Talmadge scaves away, but Hunter and especially Stitz, they did not.
Unfortunately, Stitz had nowhere to go.
And for Cedric Hunter, required damage for himself, so he will have to head to pit road. We'll see if he gets the dreaded "there's too much damage, we're done for the day" message from iRacing.
Right,
it's just that contact, even before Stitz, that hard angle into the outside wall is what really took out the 13. That extra contact not going to be helping out Stitz's campaign, as everyone into pit road, 4 tires and fuel. Thomas Green, on the other hand, will have to take the wave around, as they'll get back on the lead lap, as Cedric Hunter sits and waits to see what his fate will be.
See here what his fate now. It showed me he got a meatball flag, so I'm not sure how long he's gonna have to sit to get this Hello Kitty machine fixed.
We'll have to wait and see. We might get a report from the 13 of if his night is fully done, or he might just leave the server if that's the case. Most likely Hunter will try to get out there the best that he can. I got a feeling these restarts are going to get very dramatic, with the field trying to gain all these positions back as quickly as they can. But since we're under caution, let's see how this race is going for some of the drivers out there on track. And one of them I'm curious about. Let's pull out the driver that was involved with that wreck of the 27 of Jared Talmadge, because he looked quick. And I'm just curious how he's feeling about this race so far, as the field is getting ready to go green. Let's do a quick ask of Jared Talmadge, see how it's going. Jerry, it's Sam up at the booth. You got me?
Yeah, hello.
You're involved with that last wreck. You've been spun around. What's the how are you feeling? And how is this car feeling getting ready for this restart?
I don't really know if that last one was my fault. If it is, I really do apologize, Cedric. I didn't think he'd slow down so early on entry, but the car feels okay. Somehow didn't get any damage. We've been backwards. I've run people over. I've hit everything but the pace car, I guess, tonight, so we'll see if we can do that. But I don't know. I just hope I can settle in for top 10 here, top 5.
I mean, you look quick. We're hoping for the best, Jarrett. Good luck on this restart.
Thank you.
As that was the quick talk to Jared Talmadge. These restarts are very quick. It's kind of hard to pick drivers after looking at the replay, seeing their pit stops. And now we're back to green flag racing, as Ryan Kelly, John Forbes Jr. going to be your front runners, able to get some good takeoff for themselves. Jake Nichols, a longer pit stop for himself compared to the rest of the field. He'll fall to 4th place, but here we go. It's Kelly, Forbes, but Nichols takes advantage as Forbes gets into the outside wall, and John Forbes now in trouble of falling into 4th place. They're going to be 2 wide, 3 wide. Take your opportunity, and it's Vincent Sora. Fight to the inside, trying to get by Gavin Rogers, who brushes the wall. And in a blink of an eye, Vincent Sora now is into the 5th place position. Shane Terry now going to be fighting to the inside group, trying to get by Gavin Rogers. But Jake Nichols, probably the biggest winner there, with seeing some of the troubles from the 7 machine. Able to bounce his way into 2nd place. So he's hunt for the win, still alive as everyone gets in line.
Yeah, he needed that so he didn't have to get, married behind some cars that he had to fight the battle to get around and, use up some of his tires, which is what Kelly really wanted to see. But, I mean, Kelly got a good half second lead on here, but right now I'm just watching Sora right now. He's out. He's trying to get around Noel here, Brian Noel, in that 00 machine, Tiltify machine, and he's trying to work it as Rogers is trying to help him make it around, but it doesn't look like he's going to have to settle right in, though. But now here comes Shane Terrian going down into turn 3.
Diving all the way to the apron, trying to go for the slide job move on the one machine of Gavin Rogers, but Rogers throttles up, keeps the position close to the outside wall. A little bit of a jackal and jostle for the field, as down into turn number 1, still gonna be Gavin Rogers staying ahead of Shane Terrian. But what a run as Jarrett Talmadge fights back on the inside. The 27's day is not over just yet, as he'll make the pass on Terrian and try to move up into 7th place. Well, this is certainly, with the fact of some of the time into these cautions, the driver's not really getting into the outside wall. It's Ross Tatum, Cedric Hunter. They're the only ones that are truly out of this race. Everyone else still having a fighting vehicle. I think Chris Stitz a little bit too damaged to really get back into this fight. But here's a driver we have not talked about at all. The 57 of Chuck Sweeting. I mean, Robert, this is a driver who's been here since day 1 of the WSSR. We're on a major hiatus from racing with the league, but he's back this season, and he certainly has been the under the radar, the quietest driver of all this whole season. And he's right there in the top 10.
Yeah, he's in the top 10, and not only that, in the point standings too, right? He's just outside the top 16. So this run here could boost his, point standings too overall going into, to the new year.
Yeah, it could be a big boost, especially with the fact that Matt Muir back in 15th position of this race, and having Chuck Sweeting in 10th. Certainly a chance for Chuck Sweeting to try to go for a better run. Could be his 2nd top 10 of the season, and trying to build some momentum before the holiday break. The driver who is up front trying to go for his win if possible, Ryan Kelly, still leading the way. You see Jarrett Talmadge approaching the outside wall, and I mean, Robert, there's still a chance of it. One more pit stop before this race is over. We're expecting the field, though. It's about stretching it to the end. Make sure you've got the tires, you've got the fuel, and you're close enough to fight for position if possible. But this is that crunch time moment where we're in that spot of this race where everyone can practically make it to the end if you can save your equipment.
Yeah, so you think they have to make one more pit stop? Or you think they can go? They can't make it to the end.
They should be able to make it, but if you overcook your equipment and ruin those tires, you may not be able to make it to the end. You might have to pit before this race is over, but that's if you can't save your equipment.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough to try to save it. I mean, some of these drivers look like, in that big first long stint that we had there, we've seen the drivers that were saving and drivers that were burning off that right front tire as, oh no, we got a car in the middle wall.
That's going to be the 35 of Danny Ware. Hard contact for himself, and he's off the racing surface. No caution is thrown, but extreme damage for the 35. As he is able to stay down on the apron, no caution will be thrown. We continue to stay clean and green. But Danny Ware, who is looking to salvage his day, that didn't start out the best, and it will end even worse as Vincent Sora able to make his pass on Brian Noel. Not going to be up to 4th place. And Noel, we saw in the later stages of a run, it was after about 15 to 20 laps, those tires really faded away, and we are now in that zone where if this 00 has not saved his tires, he could be under threat. As here's Rogers, here's Talmadge, and let the fight begin on who's going to be in 5th place, as this 00 is just doing everything to hold position.
Right, he's trying to hold position and also try to help his teammate back there as
Gavin in the wall.
Yeah, in the wall. Oh wait, Shane Terrian just took a dive bomb, going 3 wide.
Oh, 3 wide, 2 wide, the 9, putting all the pressure for the 27. They're able to keep it in line, though. They're going to be almost a stack 3 wide again off the exit of the corner. Rogers keeps it out to the outside, but off the wall, so he carries his momentum and speed. Terrian hoping that that's the advantage to get by Jarrett Talmadge, and he will get clear of the 27. But Talmadge backing off, trying to get the better exit out of the corner, looking to get to the inside of the 9, but just has to back out. Not able to keep that run for himself. And Terrian holds for 7th, and now aims his sights to get by the 1, but Jarrett Talmadge not trying to give up just yet. The 27 right back on the back bumper.
right on the back bumper, which is now bringing the back of the half of this field up here. Here we got Brian McCann. He's trying to work his way back up in here. We've got Chuck in the 57. He's slowly working his way up. So the more these guys battle up front, yeah, it can hurt as, oh my goodness, Shane, hang on to it.
Hang on and hope for the best. Shane Darian, our one and only controller driver. He is wheeling it with the joystick while everyone else on a wheel and pedal setup. The 9 trying his best. He's using the joysticks. He's using his trigger fingers, doing his best to hold for position as he's having the 27 of Jared Talmadge fighting to try to get to the inside. They'll be side by side fighting their way forward, but Talmadge gets back in line, and once again, another threat to the inside groove.
And you can see Shane, he was wheeling that thing left, right, just to keep it going, and bravos to him, and right now, that 27 saying, come on, I gotta get by. Oh,
I gotta make the move, or you're just gonna force him to the outside wall. And for Shane, he does not like to be messed around with. The problem, the 9, you might be able to muscle him around. And he's one of those drivers that might vocally say anything, but he'll make contact. Terrian, they'll get into the 27, and more drivers piling up. We continue to stay green. Chuck Sweeting goes around. Caution still yet to be thrown as Talmadge is wounded. 27 limps his way forward. And we keep it green. Matt Meir now going to be trying to go to the inside. Kelly gets wrecked. I mean, that's going to be Kyle Rochelle spent around, and caution officially out.
Oh, and that goes all the way back to the 9, though. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, Sam, but if it wasn't for the 9 coming back, and you were just literally saying it, that he doesn't like to have that stuff happen.
No, I mean, that's just one of those things of,
yeah.
I have seen Shane for years. Him getting into people is a rarity.
Yeah.
But I know that he has been pushed around, muscled around by the Lucky Duck, some of the Lucky Duck drivers of John Forbes, Jared Talmadge. There's been a list of drivers that have bumped this 9 machine around, and it looks like for Terrian, that was the final straw. He said, you know what? If you're gonna not pass me cleanly, I'm not going to allow it to happen. Makes the contact, makes the bump, and away drama goes. Heavy damage, and now the rest of the field makes your pit stop. Some of the drivers they only have 1 set left in this race. This is the critical time. Do you take a set or no, as everyone expected to hit pit road?
I would take a set. I mean, you got what, 35 laps to go? We go back to green. It's going to be what, 30 laps to go? I would take my last set and just roll the ball with it.
It's not a bad call at all to make. Oh, trouble though for Ryan Kelly. Black flag. Speeding. No. Our leader just threw it away. Oh my goodness.
Did everything just unravel? Like literally
there's a full moon.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
It just came out from underneath the clouds. Like, what the heck just happened within the last 3 minutes?
Ryan Kelly is going to be having a penalty speeding for himself. John Forbes trying to get ahead of the 73.
Yeah.
Brian Noel will stay out on track. He does not use his final set of tires for the 00. Okay. He will be on 19-lap older tires than the rest of the field, which he has been one of the drivers that have had the worst tire wear of anyone out on the field. So this is going to be even more scary for the front runners. Well, but this could be a setup to help Jake Nichols win, because they are on the same organization of Lucky Duck Motorsports. So it could help out the 73. As Ryan Kelly again, black flag for the 3 machine. And he is expected to go to the back. The
tire wear for Noel, Brian there, could be a little bit better though too, because we did go into nighttime. Now we've seen him struggle in the daylight, and with the track rubbering up and things like that, with the dynamic track system that iRacing has in here. But what are we owing about now? We're owing
Zach Hall. Admins have made the decision. They are going to clear Ryan Kelly's penalty. He gets to keep his position in second. Admins have announced they will relook at that penalty. If they need to, they will disqualify Kelly after this race. But for Ryan Kelly, he is going to be able to keep his position for now. And no black flag will be given out to the 3 machine. So that means that Jake Nichols will not be in the front row. And this gives a chance for Ryan Kelly now to keep this position, as we also have lost Kyle Rochelle. He's officially out of this race and done. Jarrett Talmadge is still in pit road, getting repairs done. And up front, it's Noel. The 20 lap old tires to the rest of the field that just got freshies. Ryan Kelly, Jake Nichols, John Forbes, Vincent Sora, Gavin Rogers, Shane Terry, Douglas Newbigging, and so many more. Hungry Wolves want to get into victory lane, as green flag is gonna be out here at Darlington. Race 6 under the lights. Is there a full moon? Because what drama will we find as Noel Forbes already ahead of Ryan Kelly, and Nichols is ripping the top, but he gets loose and will lose and fall back to Vincent Sora.
Oh boy. Well, we'll see. I got a question to ask you, Sam. But after all this carnage and these guys try to figure out what they're going to do here.
And they're going to be staying high as Noel Forbes going to be taking the opportunity. Better tires going to be able to make the pass for the lead position. Noel has to back out of the corner. That hurts Kelly. Nichols able to follow suit on the inside. The 73 expected to move up into second place. Sora will follow as well. And Ryan Kelly and so many others. The big one on the center of 1 and 2. And they all just got clogged up behind the 00. And multiple drivers spun around.
Oh, man. Well, we'll hold off on what I was going to ask you, but we'll see if we can figure out what exactly happened here.
Well, looking at it, Rogers in the 1 machine. He just runs into the 3 because everyone's checking up, and then it's just accordion effects his way through of other drivers piling in. It's a lot of drivers just going sideways, a couple of drivers tapping the wall. And the hardest of contacts look to be going to Matt Muir and Thomas Green. As we take another look at this. Wild moments of drivers, just attack mode is on. We're now going to be entering less than 30 laps to go, and track position so key.
Yeah.
But there's just no time to really react with how quick these checkups are happening, especially on corners where everyone's already slowing down for.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not that you're gradually slowing down. Like, going into turn 3 here at Darlington, you're slowing down from what, 160 to 130, like instantly. Like, you're on the brakes pretty hard because you drive this car pretty deep into that turn.
Yeah, you're pushing the limit, and you're hoping that the brakes as well as the banking of the corner slows you down. And having a driver just initially come to a halt is not really optimal on trying to make sure you're not trying to run each other over. As now more drivers going to take an opportunity to head into pit road. Brian Noel, Shane Terrian, and everyone that got a glimpse of that incident got to get some damage repair. Everyone else gets ready for this next launch. Ryan Kelly, obviously going to be the most frustrated in that situation. Mainly because he got trapped behind Noel, went from a possible lead position now down to 4th. And now will be John Forbes, Jake Nichols, Vincent Sora. How will these 3 want to play nice on this restart? Because it has looked like a madhouse with everyone going in attack mode. And let's see what one of the drivers has been on recovery mode so far here tonight, Vincent Sora, and get a sense of what he's feeling here as we are waiting for those lights to click off. As we'll queue up the 15 of Vincent Sora runs in 3rd. Vinny, it's Sam up at the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Well, you've had a roller coaster of an evening here tonight, being caught up in that wreck with Bankini to now being in 3rd. How are you feeling? How's the car feeling getting ready for this late restart?
I mean, the car feels good. I think I'm for sure one of the top 3 quickest guys out here tonight. The dirty air is just so bad. I mean, that first run, I just stayed at like a second on Jake the whole time and couldn't really do anything from there. And then got in that weird wreck with Ben Kinney and fixed all my damage, and then drove up through the field. And I made some pretty big moves on restarts that have gotten me some track position here. And yeah, I mean, I just need to be smart now. I've only got 1 more set of tires, and hopefully with the way these guys are racing ahead of me, it might give me a couple openings to maybe go steal one.
And we're hoping for that. Vinny, good luck on this restart, and hopefully you survive to the end of this race.
Thanks, guys.
as that will be Category 5 Esports driver of Vincent Sora. He'll be in 4th place on this restart. Oh, excuse me, 3rd place on this restart. Going to be second car on the inside. As John Forbes, Jake Nichols, they will be your front row. John Forbes going to be the lead control vehicle. How does John Forbes want to react here, though? Is we obviously saw Brian Noel and Forbes. They were communicating on that last restart to help get in front of the 3 machine. How well does Forbes want to queue up and work with Nichols? Or is it just a fight for yourself into the restart zone? And that looks to be just a I'm taking off when I want to move by John Forbes. He'll going to be getting at least the car length lead over Nichols, who's going to set up for a late apex run here, trying to close in the gap. Vincent Sora following in line for 2nd place. And it's Forbes looking good, looking very similar to last season when John Forbes got in the victory lane. It was late in the run. All the cautions, all the drama, and it was the 7. Once he got the lead, he never relinquished it. For the battle for 2nd place, Jake Nichols, Vincent Sora, that is raging back on as Nichols holds for now, but Sora just trying to find an opening to pass and go attack for the 7.
Well, I think Sora is at the point right now. He don't care about winning the race. If he can finish in front of Nichols, he would be a happy camper.
I would agree on that standpoint. I think he really would be a happy camper for that. Some other drivers having some woe-up moments. Shane Terrian got very loose and almost into the outside wall. Did graze the outside wall. Big loss of time. Fastest lap of the day. Give it to John Forbes. I don't know if you want to set your fastest lap of the day right now in this run. I mean, we still have over 25 laps to go here tonight. You don't want to use all your equipment up now. You have so much still ahead of you. Update on other drivers that were in pit road getting damage repaired. Jared Talmadge officially out of this race. Also going to be Kyle Rochelle out, Danny Ware, Cedric Hunter, and Ross Tatum, leaving us with 17 drivers out on track, 16 on the lead lap. And it's John Forbes leading the way for the 7 machine. Looking at some of the other competition around, Gavin Rogers still watching the drama. Douglas Newbegin in 6th. Drivers trying to keep themselves out of the wall is the 1, the 8, and so many others.
Well, you said some of these guys didn't have a set of tires left because they put that 1 set on there, and then we had all the carnage there at the end. And then some of these cars actually spun out and, you know, spun around and things like that. That makes the tires any happier.
Yeah, a lot of guys, we still have the official number on if you've used all your sets, but we assume that maybe drivers have used all their sets based on the amount of times they've hit pit road. All drivers had 4 sets of tires in pit road to work with here tonight. And those that have pitted 4 times so far, Brian Noel in 00, the 77 of Douglas Newbegin, as well as Brian McCann in the 8, Thomas Green in 31. Those front runners have pitted at least 4 times. And I know they've been involved with incidences that might have caused them to have to maybe use all of their sets to keep with good pace. And some of them might have just pitted for damage repair and no tires. But we'll wait and see on this next, if we have a next caution, who's got that final set left with them. As Forbes up to a half a second ahead of Nichols, Sora keeping it close. Everyone else single file out, and it's just survived to the end at this moment.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at now. I think that we had that big hiccup there in the beginning of the race here, and now everybody else is starting to settle out and said, "Guys, let's just calm down a little bit and let's finish it."
Settle, settle, settle is kind of the mindset for a lot of these guys. Up front, still seeing all the action. Sora, one of the closest drivers for a chance for a pass in 2nd place, as he is trying to keep it close to Nichols, and any mistake and try to pounce on it. Other battles that are happening on track is for the battle for 12th place. There's Chris Stitz and Chuck Sweeting. Both have had their moments of being involved with a wreck, but I think the fact that they're still running, they'll take any finish at this point that's better than last.
I think graphics showed a little bit difference because the 17 of stents there, that or the pit crew fixed the car pretty good.
Yeah, I think maybe it was more of a visual damage instead of internal damage that we were seeing there. The outer shell taking a lot of that brunt of the carnage after contact with Cedric Hunter, and able to continue to rage on. is this 17. Chuck Sweeting went for a slide on that last big wreck. And now going to be seeing everyone pushing forward as quickly as they can to make it to the end of this race, as it's about to be 20 laps to go for our top three. John Forbes, Jake Nichols, Vincent Sora, but Robert, the driver in fourth. Larry Yingling, once again, he does it every week. He's right there at the end, around our top five, trying to go for another finish. Now, he's had a rough go so far this season. Of the 5 races that Larry Yingling has ran, he's only had 1 top 5, 1 top 10, and he's trying to aim for number 2, as the finishes really have not been there. A real lack of speed at times, but hey, we always say if you can keep your nose out of trouble, you've got a chance of a good finish, and that's exactly what this 67 has done. He's watched the carnage of drivers wrecking behind him, in front of him, and now he sits here in 4th place.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you do it. I mean, we know the Sam Dyer strategy, right? It's the Larry strategy.
Yeah, the keep yourself out of trouble as much as you can. My strategy is very much way more aggressive than what some of these guys do, but it certainly is one. It works sometimes. It matters on if we're having a carnage race or not. Which, speaking about carnage, let's bring up our race report if we can. If you're just joining us, well, what a time to join. It has been a up and down evening at Darlington for race 6 of season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series, presented by Elwood Designs. We've had 5 cautions in total. We've had 4 different leaders, 13 laps under caution, 5 lead changes, and a majority of this race under green flag conditions, which I think for the field, they're happy to see that. We've had some green flag pit stops, but the 5 cautions, I'll let you know, the last 3 races that we've had, it's been either 7 or 6 cautions. We've gone to overtime once in the past year at Darlington, and it's been a full moon type of a race. Who knows, there might be a late caution looming for us, especially with how close 7th, 8th, 9th are running on top of one another.
Back here, we said 7th, 8th, and 9th. We'll see where, yep, right here, we can see, yeah, we got the 8, 31, the 1, the 3's just right there too, but you can see these guys are how close they run against the wall to get speed, and you know, they're just clipping it a little bit here, a little bit there, and you know, if you're not familiar with NASCAR or any kind of racing in general, this is what you see in real life. Cars, they do this in real life. They're scraping and beating and banging these cars off the walls, and somehow they keep doing it. So, but you know, these are the older models, and they're built a little bit more tougher. I do believe, or correct me, Sam.
Yeah, well, tougher. It's more of they're more lenient of making contact. You kind of buffering back out, while these Gen 4 vehicles made it just pure steel, and if you made a dent, it wasn't going back. It was not gonna just make contact and rubber band its way back out. If you made contact, this thing was going to be torn down. The arrow was going to be awful. The vehicle didn't want to turn. Luckily, on the virtual side of things, you can get that damage fixed up a lot easier than in real life, as 14 laps to go. And still looking good. Other close battles. Here's Ollie Fonseca, Chuck Sweeting. This is the battle just behind that group you're watching for 11th place. For the 24 of Ollie Fonseca, I mean, one of the drivers that did not qualify the best here tonight. And now watching the competition ahead, and they're going to go 3 wide for a moment, going to get back to 2 as Gavin Rogers got the cleanest run out of turn number 2, and that's really been his trouble spot, as Brian McCann will pounce on that attack. Thomas Green will pounce as well for 8th position. Ryan Kelly expected to go for a pass for himself. As Ryan Kelly, I mean, the what-ifs have to be mounting for the 3 machine. That if he wasn't surrounded by Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers, maybe he could have had a chance for victory on that most recent restart that really just had his race fall apart here recently, as gonna see drivers starting to space out once again from one another. Chuck Sweeting able to get by Ollie Fonseca as the 57 tries to pull away and catch up to that group to maybe gain a couple of more spots before this race is over. But Robert, kind of crazy with 11 laps to go. Jake Nichols if he's going to go for a pass, he's got to ramp up the speed here quickly. But before we really get to that portion of the race, 2025, what a year it's been so far. Started out with our 4th annual charity 6 Hour of Daytona charity race, raised over $2,550 to watching WSSR here at the end. What a year it's been for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
Yes, it has been. It's been a very busy year for us, and things have slowed down, you know, in nature of just life in general here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Never know what the future holds for us. But yeah, what a 2025 season. I can't believe it's coming to the end. This will be the last day, like you said, to see us on live until the new year in 2026. But, you know, hey, I want to thank all the drivers that supported us throughout the year from that, you know, 6 hours that we had there at the beginning of this year, all the way through the years, all the leagues we had, the leagues that, you know, we moved on from, and the leagues that we picked up, and the friends that we have, and the friends that we got. It's been a great year, honestly, Sam. In general, it's been, in the sim community world, it's been a pleasure, I must say.
It certainly has. Thank you to everyone that's watched throughout the year. I know that we're planning on at least uploading our best finishes of 2025 video before the new year. And it has been a pleasure to give you all the calls here this year as John Forbes leads the way with the laps ticking down. 7 laps to go so far for this run. And John Forbes trying to get his first win of season 12, season 10 champion. Trying to carry on with this momentum. He is certainly felt like he lost a footing when he didn't take the championship last season. The 7 machine switches to a new team, switches to a new number. And he's got some of the best drivers under his camp at Lucky Duck Motorsports, and trying to carry his way into victory lane to finish out 2025 on a high note. And it certainly is looking good for the 7 of John Forbes as we race on, coming up to 5 laps to go. Again, some of the closer battles that are happening on track back outside of the top 10 currently. The dirty air is holding back Jake Nichols, who's still a half a second behind. And Robert, this has been one of those nights of, it looked like this was all Jake Nichols, but those little cautions on the second half of this race have really changed things up.
Yeah, well, maybe Jake took the lucky duck and threw it to John Forbes and gave him the lucky duck, and now John Forbes took the bad lucky duck and threw it back to the 73. So maybe we're just switching the ducks around.
There's certainly a lot of duck and maybe some goofs out there that's going on. I mean, there's a couple of moments. I mean, you could say that for, you know, Lucky Duck has had John Forbes, Jake Nichols. They're up front trying to go for the 1-2. A little bit of a goose here tonight. Would go to the 27 to Jarrett Talmadge. That was just an absolute magnet here tonight.
Way to finish off the season.
It was certainly was not the way that he was hoping for this year to finish off, as Jarrett Talmadge going to be showing a lot in that best of 2025. He had a lot of fantastic moments this year. I know this wasn't the way he wanted to finish off, but John Forbes, on the other hand, he has certainly had a lot of wins. He's gotten some championships under his belt, and the 7 is looking good for another win to cap off this season as they're starting to close in and catch up to more drivers ahead of them. But Jake Nichols in second, I mean, what a dominant start to the season he's had. I mean, every race, I feel like we're picking the 73 as our driver to watch out, the driver that's going to win. He's obviously going to be one of the favorites. Vincent Sora, he got back into a championship way, winning back at Trinity on the Monday night series we used to call. And for right now, 2 laps to go. Ben Kinney drops low. He'll try to get out of the way. And John Forbes doing what he does. He just knows how to get into victory lane at some point during the season. Is this going to catapult him into one of the favorites to watch out for? We'll have to wait and see as your Sim Precision Prince white flag is out in the air for the 7 of John Forbes Jr. That stand up to cancer machine the holiday gift wrapped. I cannot believe how well this season has been for himself. Nichols did everything in his power to close in on that gap, but the 7 got the lead, got the fresh air, and no one was gonna stop him. Congratulations to John Forbes, capping off 2025. Enjoy your break because you're a winner for season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series. John Forbes is back on top.
Wow. It took him a little bit to get there, but he finally got there. So this is going to be a good interview to talk to him here as Lucky Ducks come in here first and second, like you said, and Vincent Sora. Well, he's not the bridesmaid tonight, gets third, but man, what a rebound though for that 15 machine.
Yeah, and Larry Yangling 5th. I mean, what a charge for himself to keep himself under the radar. But I think the 2 drivers, I want to give notes to Brian Noel, Douglas Newbigging. They come away 5th and 6th, exactly the type of races they needed to get into a spot to watch out for that cutoff line and try to make the chase. What a way to end off the year going into your holiday break, and the first half of season 12's regular season is now capped off. It's done, and John Forbes will take the victory. For us, though, our evening is not done just yet. We will come back right after this, as we will have our post-race show talking to the 7 of John Forbes, the 73 of Jake Nichols, and Vincent Sora at 3rd. We'll be back right after this for finishing out tonight's action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show of Race 6 from Darlington here for Season 12. Certainly moments all around, but finally back into victory lane for the first time here for Season 12. It's the 7 of John Forbes Jr. And John, winning is something we're used to seeing you do. It took you a little bit to get back into victory lane, but here you are. Man, how are you feeling after that dramatic second half of tonight's race, coming away with the win?
Yeah, it was a really fun night overall. I didn't have the best qualifying effort, which I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't have a lot of like racing around other cars during the practice session. Like I was just trying to get a good qualifying lap, and thought I had it down pretty good, and then the car just didn't stick going into 3. So started 8th still. Somehow it was better than I thought it was going to be. But then we got into the race and immediately got a couple of spots. A couple of guys had some issues in front of me, and then from there, it's the rest of the night just clawing at spots. Had some great pit road efforts. And then I had some pretty scary moments myself on that one restart. I threw it in there on the bottom, and I don't know if it was the cold air or the cold tires. I don't know what it was, but the cars did not stick, and luckily there was room on the outside for me to slide up and prevented it from being a big Lucky Ducks crash. So we were able to get through there, and then it was kind of different than the other races of the season. We got some cautions and stuff, got some restarts, and you had to get spots on those restarts, and it was perfect that Brian Noel on the second to last caution, he only had one set of tires left and didn't want to take it, so he ended up staying out, and me starting behind him on the top, it was just perfect. So I was able to get by him barely. It was just a big scary moment for all of us again there. But then from there we got the lead, and it is just incredible how much the clean air helps. It was just smooth sailing from there, just kind of managing the gap with Jake, and we were able to finally get one this season.
Yeah, I mean, John, that pass really was coming down the restart with yourself and Noel. It felt like one of the few times we get to see Lucky Duck Motorsports work together on a restart. What was that like trying to work as a team to get that countdown right and to give you the space to go for that pass?
Yeah, it's just hard in general because there's so many of us this season, and we all have pretty decent pace. So we always find each other up front, and I mean, we saw tonight with Jared and Tom, they had some contact, so it's kind of unavoidable, just having so many teammates in the races. But at the same time, it can work out with moments like me and Brian able to get the countdown on the restart. And I knew if I just cleared Ryan Kelly, I was gonna have a good shot at getting the lead there, knowing he was on the old tires. So yeah, I got right behind him, and he was just all over the place with the old tires, and I was trying to check up. I was getting run over, so it luckily worked out for us that time with Lucky Ducks. Like I said, we always tend to find ourselves around each other in most of these races, and we're gonna have contact. But yeah, it worked out. So I do have to give a big shout out to Brian. The strategy for him also ended up working out with the tire set. So just a solid night for us overall. Me and Jake have just been going at it this season, and I was finally able to finish on top of him this time.
You certainly were able to do that, John. I mean, what a year it's been for yourself. I mean, you've been on a run of a lot of championships in other leagues, a lot of wins for yourself. How does this win feel to kind of cap off your 2025 for WSSR before we go into this holiday break, and just the year for general for yourself?
Yeah, it's definitely a confidence boost. I just feel like this last month or so, just been really busy with like factors of it and iRacing. So I feel like I've just been in a little bit of a slump, and all of these updates and stuff, I haven't been like the first guy to go test it and figure it out. So even this car, it's just been kind of a big adjustment compared to the last Gen 4, and like just my qualifying efforts and some of my races this season just haven't. I'm just not at the pace where I feel like I need to be every week. So to come out and get this win and go into a little bit of an off season, it's definitely a good confidence boost. We can come back just knowing like I'm going to be up here. That's where I should be running, and it just makes it that much easier to not put that pressure on myself and just know I can go out and do it. But there's also just a lot of things in iRacing coming up with the Cup Series qualifiers and stuff. So just getting these little bits of momentum, they just keep rolling. The ball gets bigger, and then we get to where it's like showtime and scenarios like that, and I just know I'm going to have the pace to compete. So just doing things like this and running with a competitive field. I mean, Jake's just one of the best guys on iRacing. He's hard to beat. So to come out on top tonight, it's a great way to cap off 25 with all I've been able to accomplish in WSSR and the College Series. So just a great way to finish it off here with you guys.
I mean, John, you're obviously one of the favorites to always watch out for. We can't wait to see how you perform in those ventures moving forward. But for tonight, the floor is yours for any other shout outs.
Yeah, I just need to thank everybody at Lucky Ducks. Like I've said a few times, they're just a great company, great fast guys to run around every week. And John Peel's really gone and searched for us and got us all in this group here. So it's just a great environment to be around. So I got to thank John Peel for setting everything up, and with everybody we have on board, the College Chassis and everybody else. I just got to thank you guys for broadcasting these things all year. Probably the best broadcast I go back and listen to on iRacing. It's you guys just always put out a good product. So looking forward to next year and everything we have in store.
Can't wait for it. Well, John, congratulations on the win. Enjoy this break, and we'll see you in 2026.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too, as that will be your victor of tonight's race, race 6, last race of 2025. It will go to the 7 of John Forbes. We go down to second place, the driver who is the one that everyone's trying to stay ahead of. That's Jake Nichols. He'll come away second here tonight. Jake, it just looked like it was a rough night to even attempt passes, but you still come away with a strong finish here at second. How are you feeling after your performance here at Darlington?
Pretty good. I was just kind of chilling the first run. I knew the track would come in and get a little tighter as we went on, so I kind of prepared myself for that, but wore a little too loose the first run, so I was kind of struggling, but at the same time I had clean air, so it made up for it. But I wish we could have got a little bit more green in the middle section of the race. Once I lost the lead to Ryan on the cycle there, I felt like I could still get them back. But every time I set them up after a restart and we'd go like 10 laps or so, the moment I get there again, caution, and we just kept rotating, going back and forth and on that. But overall, felt good. I'm glad John got him one there. He's been fast, and he had a really good pace tonight. I noticed that once I did get to second place behind Ryan Kelly there, that Forbes was really keeping up good and Dirty Air and running pretty strong. And we had a few chaotic restarts there. I almost wrecked myself into turn one time on one of them, and thankfully we got through and got back to second, and the rest was history.
Well, Jake, we have another break in front of us with Christmas and New Year's. How are you planning on spending your break to get faster, or are you just going to step away from racing for a bit here?
Probably more of the same. I'll probably just coast along, just spend time off here a little bit. Sometimes run laps, because I haven't ran too many races at Milwaukee, so if that's where we're going next, I do need to refresh the memory a little bit there and see what's fast. But overall, we'll just be having fun during the holidays and wait for the racing to come back.
Well, Jake, I know in those last couple of restarts as Lucky Duck Motorsports, there's a lot of you guys up there. What is it like trying to communicate with the whole group on those restarts to try to move together as one?
Oh, it's chaos. It's fun though. We didn't really communicate too much on restarts. I think we all kind of knew what we were doing, just trying to let each other in at the very least. I feel like we filed out pretty good every time we were lined up 3 or 4 of us in a row, and it really worked out on that restart when Brian stayed out. We kind of that's when I got loose and almost wrecked myself, and I felt like at that point, well, we're kind of in a bad spot here, but we set up to get to the bottom and followed John through, and it honestly worked out really good without even trying to do anything. We were just going along and just trying to find the right spot and hope it worked out, and we made our way through and thankfully put ourselves in position to get another second place here.
Well, it was a great run to watch, and Jake, we can't wait to see how you perform after this holiday break. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Well, thanks again to everybody, Lucky Ducks Motorsports. We had a solid night tonight. I know some of us got involved in incidents, but overall, a lot of good finishes and a lot of good runs. Of course, we got Stand Up to Cancer on the hood and No Kid Hungry on the side, JWR Race Cars and Coddle Chassis, among many other partners here. And it's great to have a great team effort. It's even better to have a 1-2 finish, and I don't mind taking a second place to a teammate any day of the week. So we'll take that and move on, and hopefully get back into victory lane after we return from the break.
Well, we cannot wait to see how you perform, Jake, when we return, and enjoy your holiday break, and we'll see you in 2026.
Sounds good. You guys have a great holidays too.
You too. As we move from second down to third, we talked to Vincent Sora, who had his ups and downs. We talked to him in the middle of the race, how he got the car recovered and was able to move his way up to third, but that's where he stalled out. Vinny, it just looked like the Dirty Air was too strong to make any passes, but did you feel like there were any opportunities to get by Nichols, or were you pretty much stuck there once we had that last restart?
No, I was stuck. A rocket booster couldn't have got me around him or him around John or anybody around one another up in the top 5 tonight. I mean, it's so frustrating with the Dirty Air in this car. I mean, I obviously wasn't around racing this race car back IRL back in the day, but it just doesn't seem like the Dirty Air should be as bad as what it is. We were all just stuck. But yeah, I mean, the car was fun to drive just because we had to make up with losing our right rear and purposely burning our right rear off to do anything, because otherwise it would have just plowed for all of us. But yeah, I mean, we're just stuck. It's kind of been the story of the season. Atlanta, Phoenix, Kansas. It's just whoever gets up to that clean air. I mean, you saw it tonight. Literally every single person who got to the lead through a green flag cycle or pit stop under caution, whatever it was, they just controlled, and you don't really have to push your stuff that much because, I mean, you basically just have an invisible force field around your car. You just kind of manage and drive away.
I mean, Vinny, we got a 2-week break. How are you planning on spending your holiday break before we get back to racing in 2026?
Yeah, I'm just going to relax. Probably I don't really race any officials on iRacing anymore, and this is the only league I've got right now, so I'll just get on every once in a while, maybe have some fun and like some pickup cups or something, and just kind of enjoy the time off and get ready for the rest of the season. I don't think we have an off break or an off week from when we come back to the end. So yeah, I just need to get focused. I mean, I've had a really successful start to the season, all things considered. I mean, the guys who are beating me, they should be beating me, and I'm knocking on the door. I kind of feel like I'm a broken record talking to you guys every week, just saying like, oh, I need to do, just one or two more things better to get the win. But I'm so proud of myself and happy with the results I've had, especially after tonight, the kind of troubles that I went through. But yeah, I'm just going to relax here the next couple of weeks and get ready and try to come back and hopefully be a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was an impressive run on your part. I know we brought up during the broadcast the fact of this could be a race where you could have had a meltdown with the ways that everything fell apart, but you had a great recovery to third. When we come back, we have Milwaukee, also Michigan, and Indianapolis. Have you touched Michigan at all with this car, or is this going to be a brand new learning lesson for you?
I think that was actually like the first race I ever did in this car. I remember when it came out, and I think it was like the Shiny Shakedown series that iRacing does on week 13. I think that was one of the tracks that I did one race in, and if I remember correctly, we were all kind of just stacked up on top of one another, pack racing, kind of like Michigan does. So yeah, not really looking forward to that one. I feel like I never have any success at that track. Milwaukee, I have a lot of fun at, and it should be a lot of fun because I think it's going to race a little bit like Phoenix, and it'll give us a few more options and be more right rear heavy. And then Indy is my home track, and I love that place. So even if the car isn't that fun to drive and the dirty air is bad, I'll manage to have fun at that track just because I got a soft spot for it. So yeah, definitely gonna, like I said, take the next few weeks off and enjoy it and get prepared for the next few kind of all diverse and challenging tracks that we have and come back stronger.
We're excited for it. Well, Vinny, before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to John for getting the win tonight. That's the first win over here in a while. I think him and I are kind of on like the same little slump there. Well, now he's not. Now it's just me. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to all the admins over here. Cedric had a rough night tonight. He got killed, and he was running really good, and Zach kind of struggled a bit. So hopefully we all get our mojo back. Shout out to all the sponsors over here, and then you guys for broadcasting.
Well, thank you for giving us a show to call. Vinny, congratulations on a top 3 finish. Enjoy it, and good luck with enjoying your off break, and we'll see you in 2026.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas to you guys at home and broadcasting, and a Happy New Year.
You too. That's going to be the 15 of Vincent Sora coming away with third here tonight, and that will finish out our interviews here this evening as we get ready to take a look at our unofficial results of tonight. 22 drivers took the green, but at the end of the night, it went to the 7 of John Forbes Jr. taking the victory over Jake Nichols. Vincent Sora going to take third. Fourth goes to Larry Yingling, and congratulations to Brian Noel. I know he was hitting us up on Discord, said he wanted to do an interview. We only interview the top 3 now for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, so just needed a few more positions for that 0-0. Dylan Newbegin going to come away with 6th. 7th goes to 8 of Brian McCann. Thomas Green 8th. 9th goes to 3 of Ryan Kelly, and Gavin Rogers sliding all the way down to 10th place. We look at some of the other drivers and where they finished. I mean, I want to give kudos to Ale Fonseca coming away with 11th. Chuck Sweeting down in 12th. And some of the other drivers that just went into survival mode. Matt Meir 14th. Zach Hall able to move up 7 spots from where he started. And then it's kind of the woes. Ben Keeney caught up in that wreck with Vincent Sora. Never able was to recover. Shane Terrian, after his wreck with Jarrett Talmadge, he'll come away 17th. Talmadge 18th. Kelly, who was also involved with that wreck, came away 19th. Danny Ware just got involved with a wreck by himself, and it's a tough night for the 35. And then Cedric Hunter, Ross Tatum just gave it away with what they can. Ultimately, a night of ups and downs, but it's John Forbes that capitalizes with race number 6 of the season. And with John Forbes taking that win, that will find us with our 4th different winner so far this season. How many more can we get into 2026? We'll have to wait and see. But Robert, before we call it a night, any final thoughts from your side of things?
No, not really. Darlington's. Whoop, let me bring that down to you so you can hear me. Darlington's Darlington, man. Nothing Nothing out of norm except that that carnage there at the beginning of the not the middle of the race when within 3 minutes everything flipped its head upside down. Other than that, I mean, from what we're hearing with these guys with this car here, the dirty air is king, and until that gets fixed, I think this is the kind of racing that we're gonna see. So I really don't know, Sam, if there's even a way to beat Dirty Air. I think Dirty Air is such a king that it's the king of the king.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I'm curious when we come back for Michigan as well as for the Milwaukee Mile. I think those first two races might have a chance to see how the Dirty Air or the draft could help this racing get a little bit more aggressive. Maybe there'll be an update during that time away that might enable some more racing action. We'll have to wait and see. But for us here tonight, it certainly was a pleasure to give you all the great racing action. 2025 certainly had a lot. I'm curious if we can bring up the logo one more time, Robert. We have ourselves our next event. It will not be WSSR First. It actually will be our 5th annual 6 Hours of Daytona for Diabetes race, as we will be having the race coming January 3rd, as the drivers will hit the track with endurance racing using the IMSA class cars. We're going to have the prototype, the hypercars. We're going to have the LMP2s, the GT3s, and all of the above out on track. You, the viewers, if you're watching during that time, can influence by donating money to bring out a caution. You can black flag teams, or you can mess with us up in the booth. So many different ways that you can influence it, and we cannot wait for this event. It's one of our favorite events of the year. Last year, we raised over $2,550. We're hoping to raise more this year with some of more incentive goals that will be posted throughout our social media on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're hoping that you can go check it out. If you would like to race, go look up our community, Freaky Fast Broadcasting community server on Discord. That's where you can go sign up to race if you'd like, or wait for January 3rd to just be involved with watching the chaos that we will be broadcasting. That will be our next broadcast here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But for tonight, thank you so much for joining with us here on your Wednesday evening. For myself, Sam Dyer, for Robert Moyer Jr., for Richard Wolfsfer, who's usually with us but was not able to tag on tonight. But thank you for being along with the ride and joining with us on your Wednesday evenings. 2025 has certainly given us a lot of high moments, some low moments, and what the heck moments on top of that. But it has been a pleasure to give you the call of every race that we can give you here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Congratulations to John Force Jr. for taking the victory here at Darlington for race 6 of season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your holidays with Christmas break as well with New Year's 2025. Thank you so much for all the amazing racing. We can't wait for 2026. Milwaukee Mile will be the next destination for the WSSR Cup Series. But if you can't wait until then, we'll see you January 3rd. It's the 6 Hours of Daytona charity event. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you then for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.